Yes, guys, and a welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the three-man online game with myself, Pep, and Ian. We are well and truly now under season 141. It's early days, it's very early days. There's not much to scream about since the last update, apart from the fact that I'm the holder of everything. So this is where we're at. Obviously, I concluded the record-breaking 6th title in a row. And early days here, but obviously I've had the Super Cup, which has sort of brought me back a little bit. It was actually a very, very shaky start for me, believe it or not, because we lost the Charity Shield to Ian in quite a game. We lost the Charity Shield, and we then drew the opening league game at Gillingham, and I was fucking raging. Even though it's a game that, you know, I've dominated in these last sort of like half dozen years, I was fucking raging to scrape a point in a match where I was up against 10 men for half the game, 9 men for the other half. I mean, it's fucking bullshit, weren't it? Absolutely fucking disgusting. Luckily, Ian slipped up at Derby, so that's put us almost on level terms, although I've got a couple of games in hand. Pep, on the other hand, well, Pep's lost 2 games already this season. He lost to me in the league. This was an absolute massive game so early in the season, and we came away with 3 points. And someone on the line, he also lost Derby. So Derby, I think we're thinking that Derby are going to be the banana skin. They've taken a point off Ian and 3 points off Pep. Now, incidentally, I didn't realise it was the same team. That was away from home as well from Derby, so credit where it's due. You've got to give them certainly the credit where it's due. So, you know, these are the early days for us. The Champions League, well, they're all as is. They'll all should go through accordingly. We won the Intercontinental Cup and we won the Super Cup. We were always favourites in both of them. Let's have a look now then at some of our signings. In fact, see what we'll do. We'll start with some of the guys first. We'll start with Pep. Now, Pep has been busy. So, Guillermo Herrera. I think we did say, didn't we, about him? I think it's Alaba regen. Started well, actually. He started well with 750. Pleased with that. Padovani, £20 million. The name rings a bell. I thought so. The name rings a bell. It was Pep's ex-player. So Pep's on to me. Right, okay. So full circle for Padovani. Didn't realise that before. Ruben Bleeder from Manchester City. There was a big transfer then involving me and Pep, and Bleeder has gone to Pep. We will see in a moment who we saw arrive at Man City. Nathan Collett at Derby. I think he's quite decent, actually. Very, very young and prosperous. Only 18. I don't think he should be stepping up anytime soon. I think he needs a couple of years. Nuno Silva, another one for the Rezzies. He's decent. I do like him. Let's just see if there's any more that he bought. Yeah, there was a few more. So, Simovic from Derby County. Absolute beast of a striker. That's the striker I was telling you about that Ian then bid for shortly after. Ballesteros, I think he beat me to him on a Bosman. Keith Field, okay, doesn't look that great of a. I'd certainly be questioning that one, Pep. I really would be questioning Keith Field, unless Pep has worked out that he's a regen of somebody. But even so. So yeah, so Pep brought in this guy, and Pep used to have a player. A goal machine, a Serbian goal machine, I'm sure he did. And I can't remember his name, because I think we were getting confused with a Czech Republic striker. But either way, Pep has brought in, but he hasn't started him. I mean, I personally wouldn't be using him just yet, not at the age of 18. But you know what? It's Pep's decision. He's the manager, and he wonders why he won the fucking league. Okay, on to Ian. So, De Oliveira from Sunderland. A good player, very good left back, no doubt about that. Papa Diop, now he beat, actually I say beat me, he found Diop before me. Then we kept getting deals accepted and agreed, and the board kept blocking them, and then eventually he got a deal over the line, and I didn't even bid, and I think he's got an absolute bargain of £10 million there. I think he'll be superb. I think, I find that the African defenders do really, really well. Two more over here. Galiak from Torpedo, solid. It's an interesting one because he don't use wingers. He's not even a forward, so he's definitely more of a natural winger. So that'll be interesting to see. A Bo Winther, a solid left back. He's really built on the left back. I mean, Ian needs to do something, don't he? He needs to do something. He needs to really make the right signings, I feel. Over to me then. So, let's have a look down then. Luis Rodriguez from Bayern Munich. Well, we beat Pep to him, and I don't know if you can recall from earlier in the whole save, there was a Cape Verdean goalkeeper knocking about. He turns fucking brilliant. Well, we worked out that this guy is him. So I don't know if he's going to really make the grade. I mean, he's got some good attributes. You know, the agility, the handling, the reflexes. I'm not sure about the positioning. But anyway, we got him ahead of Pep anyway. That's what's important. Now, this striker here, I found him on a scout search. And he ain't going to break in, you know, but I just think he's cheap and cheerful, isn't he? He's cheap and cheerful. He'll probably fuck off by the end of the year. Next one, Agardo from Notts County, a defensive midfielder. We've got him purely for the resis. I think that's what we ended up doing. It was a little bit of panic buying maybe, because we weren't really active in the market. He's not a worldie. He's not even a big player. Josef Kiefer from Southampton. Now, this was the interesting deal because I was looking to seek a defensive midfielder, and we got Kiefer from Pep. Now, how I have actually only put him into my resis initially in the hope of building him. So I sold him that Bleder, or whatever you want to call it. So it was a like for like. Garcia from Burgos. I have worked out who this guy is. Actually, I could be wrong because I thought it was Iniesta. Pep said it could be David Silva. It's one or the other. And I think he's injured, isn't he? Yeah, but look how well he started for me. 5 games, 4 subs. And you know, for a mingy 230 grand, he had a release clause. Very, very happy with that. And this guy. Now, I actually worked out who this guy is, and this guy's not that great on this version, so I don't want to sort of buy him on namesake of the modern day. That is Kevin De Bruyne. We'll see how he flares up. We will see. We brought one more player over here, Hernandez from Deportivo Cali. Right, now that, I've been looking for this guy. I remember having a player called Gonzalez. He was a Colombian attacking midfielder, right left centre. And I was looking for him, and I found him, and that's him. And then Pep says to me, he goes, you know who that is, don't you? And I just didn't even think, but that is James Rodriguez. So very happy with him. Don't look the bollocks, does he? Cheap and cheerful, 600 grand. I've done a lot of sort of intense scouting this time around. In order to try and stay competitive. In terms of me offloading, now we've done a bit of offloading. Lee Pope, the goalkeeper, when we brought that Cape Verdean goalkeeper, we put that in line. Lysmore has gone. Bleeder, we know. Koeman, the Robben regen, has gone. We offloaded him to West Bromwich Albion, and that could bite me on the arse. That really could bite me on the arse. Mansilla has gone. Ruben Jimenez has gone. And you has gone as well. We had to really make some changes. You know, I feel we've built a really good squad. So much. I mean, let me remind you of the 2 players that I bought in towards the back end of the season. A few players. We brought in Kalatiyad, we brought in Dinners, and Verdirami. We've got some players that are ready to step up. And that Verdirami actually, 2 games, 8-0. You know, so many players. The only player that probably won't really get his opportunity is probably going to be the striker, to be honest with you. There's no World Club Cup this season, so that's always an element of a chance for games for people. Figueira, now he didn't start on the left. He should have. I mean, with last season he should have, but he's on the right at the minute. And the reason he's on the right is because I was playing... I've lost it now. I was playing Hernandez on the left. Hernandez was on the left. So we're really overwhelmed on the left wing and the right wing for that matter. You know, we've got 3 natural left wingers there: Morgan, Price, and Figueroa, and 3 natural right wingers, which is DeVos, Habiba, Nascimento, and then of course we've still got Hernandez and that KDB regen who can still come in, and the Iniesta. So there's still plenty. We've got players all over the place that can play all over, which is really, really welcoming. I think initially, you might notice what I've done actually. You're probably looking for a few players. We've put a few players into the resis and we've sent them out on loan. We've got them out on loan, which is really important. Anthony Hart, we got rid of him on loan. I noticed his tackling's back up to 20. And Modric regen, we got rid of him. He had a good season last campaign. 7-2-9, but I'm a bit worried about his injuries. To be honest with you. Pietro Scurti, we got rid of him not got rid of him. We sent him out on loan. We got an offer in for him. I put him loan listed, and I just want to see if he can build. We've done really well with regards to loans, to be honest with you. I'm a big fan of trying to get players out on loan, even if it's not a successful average rating. Just getting them out on loan and getting some game time in. I mean, Chartier, you know, 683, awful. 687 last season, awful. You know, could he make the grade? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Now, Young Blood, we're going to call him Young Blood here. Just remind yourself about this guy when he played for me a bit last season. 11-4, we sent him out on loan, he was awful. I know this guy, as an example here, is that if the loans don't work, don't mean anything. He could really do it for me. Look at his international record, so young. It's crazy, it really is. So, that is the 3-man game, off and running, season 141. But there is one thing I haven't told you yet. We had some activity on the international front. We had some huge, and there you can see we have taken Brazil. Now, we started with the Uruguay friendly, and we've started relatively good, I would say. Pep had the World Cup. Now, bizarrely, he kept his job, and I don't know how, because he lost to Germany, and I honestly thought he would leave, or he would resign, and if he didn't resign, he'd get the sack. So Pep was eliminated at the World Cup. That guy, right? God, it's like someone that's been around for like 40 years. He was one of my first players I bought when I took over Man City, and then I sold him for whatever reason. And that is actually, I've now established who that is. That's actually Thomas Muller regen. But he's still only 30. Crazy. Anyway, so Pep is still the England manager as the European qualifiers are off and running. Now, Ian is also back in international management. And I can't even remember who he is. So, Holland. So, Ian is Holland. And he's had a good enough start on the international results so far. Where does this leave me? Well, it just means I've got a fucking year of friendlies or games against Argentina probably. But we're all back in it. I won't stay at Brazil for long because their squad is fucking shit. It is really shit. But hey ho. And that's it, guys. That is the 3-man game. And until next time, it's take it easy.